Alright guys, today I'll be reviewing Diamondback at Kings Island. This is the 2009 B&M Hyper, and a lot of people say this is one of, if not the best B&M Hyper, and I gotta disagree, and I'll explain why in this review. So let's start off with the presentation. This ride looks really cool, and that's about it. It has barely any theming, if any. You got that cool sign out front, and that's about it. It's very aesthetically pleasing. I like the colors. Obviously, the splashdown's really nice to look at, and it just dominates that whole section of the park. But it's not like some of the other Kings Island coasters like Mystic Timbers or Flight of Fear that are very elaborately themed, especially in the queue line when it comes to Flight of Fear. There's absolutely nothing in the queue, and on ride, you don't really need a whole lot because you're out in the woods. It makes for a nice setting, but still, there's absolutely nothing in the station. It's very bland. And I get it, it's a big ride, there's not much you could do on ride, but at least in the queue, you could have made it like Orion, because Orion's got a really nice queue, it's got a soundtrack. There's none of that here on Diamondback. And unfortunately, unless you go on a really quiet day or at fast lane like I did, you're going to be waiting a while for this. Both on pass holder preview day and on opening day this year in 2025, it hovered around the 90-minute mark, which was pretty bad. I mean, those were brutally bad days for crowds, especially pass holder preview day, but it's still not great, and I think part of that was they were running 2 trains. I know it can run 3, but they were unfortunately only on 2 train operations, which definitely held up the line a bit. But anyways, once you get into the station, you'll get assigned a row, but if you ask, you can get whatever row you want. They'll take row requests here at Kings Island for all the rides, and I would honestly recommend the front. Specifically row 2. I know that sounds stupid. Everyone tells you go in the back on this ride, but I think that airtime is truly stronger in the front. And I don't say that about most B&M Hypers. The only other ones that are front row rides are Candemonium and Mako. But yeah, you definitely want the front for the stronger airtime. It might be a bit more sustained in the back, but if you want strength, go in the front. And row 2 in particular, because I definitely like those wing seats a bit more than the insides. In row 2, you basically get an unobstructed view, and you get that wing seating. So let's talk about these restraints, because, yeah, I've got a bit of an issue with them. They're normal B&M clamshells, which are fine. I'm fine with those, but it's the seatbelt that I got an issue with. On 2 of my 5 rides, I didn't have an issue with these seatbelts, but on 3 of them, I definitely noticed them. I had 1 below minimum verify 3 of my rides, and on 2 of them, I just got completely stopped by the seatbelt. It's the same type of seatbelt as Orion's, but for some reason, on Orion's, it doesn't matter. You just pop up, the seatbelt gives, and you hit the top of the restraint. But here on Diamondback, most of the time, you're going to be stopped by the seatbelt. But anyways, once you head out of the station, you're going to climb up that lift hill and head down your first drop. And I will say, this is a pretty good first drop. You get some pretty good floater airtime down this in the back row. You just get very weak airtime in the front, and this moment is very sustained. So it's definitely a good moment in the back, but most of the other moments are better in the front, and one in particular is better on a specific side, but I'll get to that later. After that, you're going to head through the first big camelback, and this is about 4 seconds of great floater airtime. It's definitely stronger in the front. It's closer to ejector up there. I wouldn't say it's ejector, but it's close, and then in the back, it's definitely a good floater. After this, you're going to head through another valley, and a common theme with these valleys is they don't really deliver positives. There's only 1 moment of positives on the ride, but what they do provide is a rattle. I still thought Banshee and Orion didn't have any sort of rattle after this past visit, but my god, does this thing beat you up. It feels like an old wooden coaster. I don't know what happened. I know it's something to do with the soil, but it's just so weird. But if you know me, you know I think that just adds to the intensity. And you know I was complaining about the theming earlier, and here's your theming. It's themed to a Diamondback. It's got a massive rattle. There you go. Great theming, Kings Island. But anyways, you're going to head through the next big camelback, and I think this is the best part of the ride. You definitely get some good airtime on here, especially in the front. It's borderline ejector. It's definitely the strongest moment on the ride. And again, it's sustained for about 3 or 4 seconds, depending on where you're sitting. In the back, it's a bit weaker, but slightly more sustained. And then after this, you'll hit another valley, and then go through the hammerhead turnaround. Just like all B&M hypers, this element is absolutely worthless, just there to turn you around. And then after this, you'll hit the roughest valley on the ride. If you're sensitive to roughness, this will definitely throw you off. It is an absolute jackhammer moment, so definitely watch out for that. But if you love roughness, if you love rides that try to beat you up, I mean, this is a pretty good moment, I will say. After that, you're going to head through another Camelback, and this one's a bit weaker than the prior two, but it still dishes out some pretty good floater anywhere in the train, and this one's also sustained for a couple seconds. And then after this, you'll hit this upwards left-hand turn, which is the most intense part of the ride. I actually felt some good G's on this, I will admit. It felt like a mini version of what Nitro's Helix does to you. It's pretty good. It's way less sustained and way less powerful than Nitro's Helix, but it's a warm-up to that. You definitely feel the G's a bit here. Now, this next moment is why you want to sit on the load side. This little bank up into the mid-course is really good on the load side. On the unload, it doesn't do anything, but on the load, you get a good pop of airtime going into it. I wouldn't say it's ejector like Nitro's, but it's really good. Again, this whole sequence sort of feels like a warm-up to Nitro. I wouldn't say this pop is as good as Nitro's on the unload side, but it's definitely good. Definitely worth riding on the load side for. And then after this, you're going to fly through the mid-course. It didn't really trim too hard for me, which is good. So then I got some pretty good floater in the back row off this drop, and in the front didn't really get too much, but you know, that's the trade-off. You're going to get the better pop going into it in the front, and then of course you get the better pop coming out of it in the back. And this drop is also pretty sustained. You're out of your seat for a couple seconds on this in the back row, of course. And then after this, you're going to hit another 2-second floater hill. This one's floater in any row, and then the following Camelback feels identical. And then after this, you have a Helix to the right, setting you up for the splashdown. Now, this Helix doesn't deliver any positives, but at least it's scenic over the pathway or whatever. And then you drop down into the splashdown. In the front, you get very weak floater, but in the back, you actually get some stronger floater. This is the third moment on the ride that's definitely better in the back. After this, you're going to hit that splashdown, and you only get wet if you're in the back and on that wing seat. But if you're in any other row, I mean, you could get misted if you stick your arms out, but you won't get soaked or anything. This thing's mainly here just for visuals. And then after that, you're going to pop up into the brakes, and you get a bit of floater in the front rows on this. Definitely nothing too strong, but it's a solid end to the ride. This ride is just an overall good B&M hyper. It doesn't do anything too offensive unless you're really sensitive to roughness. In that case, yeah, you'll hate this thing. But if you're like me, you won't mind it. If anything, it'll add to the ride. And it's just a fun time. You get some good floater, even some stronger floater, some okay positives in one part. You get a nice setting. It's a fun time, but it's definitely nothing elite. The people who say this is the best B&M hyper are delusional, in my opinion. It's just Kings Island fanboying, basically. I can't see how someone could say this thing has stronger airtime than a ride like Goliath or even Mako. Don't get me wrong, this ride's just outside my top 50, so I still definitely like it, but it's not the elite B&M hyper I was looking for. So for Diamondback's final score, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, given it's a really low 8. It definitely doesn't do anything offensive. It's not bad in any way, but it definitely could be stronger. Rides like Goliath, Mako, and even Nitro are definitely stronger B&M hypers in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think of Diamondback down in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.